Yappisode.
Yo, welcome back. Welcome back to the Daily App. I am your host, Jay, of course, where we talk about and yap about anything and everything on this channel that you hear today, anytime. That you will hear today and also anytime, any clip, anything you ever see is 100% my opinion. So I just want to always throw that out there. Please don't take anything I say um, as a fact at all. We just yap over here. We vibe. We just chop it up about anything and everything. It's always a safe space. So we welcome all sides of any aisle, whatever it is. You know, I don't go left or right, but I do lean with certain things. But as far as any conversation that we ever have, I open the table to it all, just to have a great conversation because I think this country, I think, this world lacks that. It lacks dialogue, it lacks conversation, it lacks people who disagree coming together and just being like, having a conversation, seeing eye to eye, seeing how we can come to some type of middle ground. If not, that's okay too. So there's nothing wrong with that. Um, what? Hold on. What just already finna throw me off? Um, but man, I appreciate y'all for joining before I read in the comments. But I appreciate y'all for joining on this beautiful, what is it, Monday night. We got a lot to yap about, obviously. And so, man, y'all got me searching some stuff, bro. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started. We had a great night last night. Thank you to everybody that joined the chat and the live, the episode last night. It was a great night. We chopped it up. And I appreciate everybody for doing that. I appreciate all the support. We've came a long way. Hit the like button on your way in, on your way out. Replay crew. I know you probably didn't have a replay crew last night. I apologize. It is in the members only. But I guess if you're a member, you were part of the replay crew. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button as well. If you're new to the channel, we are on the road to 26K on YouTube specifically. On YouTube right now. We're on the road to 26K on YouTube, and I definitely appreciate all the support. And it's not just YouTube. It is so many different platforms that you can support. We are on TikTok, which the TikTok family is always here every night as well on this side. We are on Facebook now. That is something that's on the come up that I just completely procrastinated on for way too long because we talk about this every night. There are now like 2 or 3 people out there that is Jay with my username and everything that just takes all my content and got the entire support base thinking that is actually me, and they don't ever reply, they don't ever they don't ever engage or anything. So a part of me is like, I don't know, like, bro, y'all know me. I'm a engage, I'm gonna chop it up. So, but yeah, he whoever it is got the Facebook community definitely thinking that I'm over there. So we are officially over there, but it is on the come up. So it's a brand new profile, Jay the Yapper One, just like you can find me on X as well. And it's the same profile picture as X, as YouTube, and all of that. So you'll see it on Facebook, brand new profile, but we just got over there as well. We're working our way over into the Spotify world and the Apple Podcast world. I'm figuring that out. I still don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I'm trying, especially with the Apple Podcast stuff. I'm trying. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna keep y'all updated. I'm gonna keep y'all in the loop until it happens, and we're gonna make it happen too. So thank y'all so much for always supporting. We are really growing. Believe it or not, man, I appreciate it. Thank you, Danny. Believe it or not, we are like 350 something thousand supporters in total across all platforms. So it truly is just an amazing thing. It is a blessing. It has become part of my daily routine, which is the daily yap. And so we're here multiple times a week. It used to only be once, then it was twice. Now here we are about 4 to 5 times. So man, I can't do nothing but thank y'all so much for that. We got a lot to yap about, obviously. We got Mikey McCoy back on the scene. That in a clip that I know I missed and didn't see it until a couple of people pointed it out on X. So I want to look at that because that's very interesting. We got some more WNBA shenanigans going on, which is very funny. Y'all know we've been following that story for a couple of episodes now. So I'm following that until the very end. So some more things have gone down with the WNBA. For the ones that don't know, the WNBA is going through this whole thing about what is a woman. A whole bunch of women gathering around the table trying to figure out what makes them who they are. And so ex NBA players, so men, are now like kind of like trolling and saying, okay, so what are we doing? If anybody can be a woman, I'm a woman. How about I come play with y'all? Is that gonna make y'all finally come out and say what a woman is? And so that's been a whole thing, and a lot has gone down yesterday. I promise y'all, you will love the content that is gonna come from that segment of the episode because one of the NBA players that is pretending to be a woman, he went to a WNBA game last night and got kicked out and was arguing. What's going on, Sprays? I'm doing good. And got to argue with the WNBA players, and it was just crazy. So we'll be talking about that as well. Talking about some Carmelo Anthony stuff because we found out some new details on him and Austin Metcalf that kind of like closes the case officially, and probably some more things as well. Y'all know how it is. It's we just yap and vibe. We yap and vibe. So without further ado, let's get into some content, man. Let me see some of y'all comments before I do what I do. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Definitely, the weekend was great. Parents was in town. We had fun. Hope kids are asleep. They are. Today was a great day for the both of them. Last night we had to pause for like 5 minutes. I had to go handle the little one, the young one, the new one, the fresh one. But he's good. He's had a great day. He's had a great day. Gab in the chat. What's up? What's up, Samantha? Matt on BLB. Okay, Matt debated Josh Carr. When did he debate Josh Carr? When was that? I definitely got to go back and watch. Was that like recent? I saw Mitch and Dank's chat today and asked about X post, but no response. Oh, you asked about his X post. Yeah, that was I don't know. I put it on TikTok. So just to put it out there to get everybody's perspectives and opinions. And so very interesting, very interesting. I love seeing it all from all sides of the thought process. Everybody's thought process. All right, I'm here now. My bad. So the WNBA will soon be a bunch of dudes and wigs. Maybe you're live on TikTok was the next video after cancer. Hey, let's get it. I'm glad. No one asked about my humanities class is on true crime, so I'm claiming listening to Jay's podcast for homework. That's funny. Black line brief with Josh Carr was today. Oh man, dude. No comment. Jay, thank you for always keeping it real. Keep it up, go Max. Thank you so much, Jocelyn. I appreciate it. Yeah, I told him you were confused by it, but Mitch didn't answer. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Mitch used to follow me on stuff. I used to follow him back. He unfollowed me. It is what it is. I don't know when, but it happened. So it is what it is. I stopped watching BLB. Sorry, guys. I'm truly not saying this in a negative way. I think Matt has a great channel, but I see BLB in my mind reads BBL. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm also not, I'm not at all anybody. Like, I'm not a person that would ever uh disrespect or bash anybody that hasn't done that to me. And so you know, I think that it is interesting. So we'll probably, I guess I have to take a look at it. But I do think it's interesting because, we talked about it since last week. We made it public. And I think y'all will probably agree that it's interesting to do that. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think that yeah, it is what it is. She called me his BB. Yeah, BBL is funny. Josh Carr seemed difficult and definitely on TBUSA side, but I figure you should watch to see his style. I don't watch every show of BLB, but just some. Yeah, we'll definitely take a look at it. I guess I have to now. Man, that is that is interesting, man. That is interesting. Okay. I stay in my bubble. I stay in my bubble. All right, let's look into some I want to look at man, yeah. Y'all be throwing me for a loop, bro. Y'all be throwing me for a loop. All right. I wanted to look at this quick footage of something that I didn't realize until somebody brought it up. And that was Mikey McCoy. Sorry that I'm like pausing right here. I had the clip up, but my stuff is not pulling up for me at the moment. All right, where you at, bro? Where you at? Because I just had it. My apologies. My laptop does do this thing every now and then, and it's doing that thing right now. Everything was pulled up, and then everything just crashed. Luckily, the stream didn't crash, but all my tabs crashed. So that did not help me at all. Okay. Is this it? Oh my gosh, man. I cannot believe this just happened, bro. I literally had it up. All right, let me try this way then. Let me try this way. If this don't work for me, then they just hating at this point. Okay. I believe I got it up. Yes. Okay. All right. My apologies. I got it up now. Let's get to it. So Mikey McCoy, for the ones that probably remember, Big Bang happened and he walked off quicker than anybody could have ducked or reacted to like the bang at all. Like, what was that? Any of that? He walked off in under a second. Never looked back. Kept walking. Got on the phone. According to Erica, he called his wife, which I think we all know he was already on the call. And y'all already know the whole spiel. But I found it interesting when somebody pointed it out on X. I can't remember who. So I'm sorry for whoever pointed it out first. That caught my attention, but I am pulling up Candace's clip that when she was talking about Terrell Farnsworth and all the weird, shady things that he was doing with the SD card, I did not know that Mikey McCoy returned to the crime scene. I'm going to assume that's Mikey McCoy. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But Mikey McCoy had a white hat, or had a hat on, had a book bag on when he turned and walked away. So I'm assuming this is Mikey McCoy right here. But Mikey McCoy returns to the crime scene to talk to Terrell Farnsworth or whatever he's doing. He's walking by Terrell Farnsworth. He's still on the phone. But what's interesting is, there's still, he didn't know what happened, right? He had no idea what happened. He didn't know if Charlie, well, that's up for debate. But he's supposed to not know what happened, right? He was supposed to just be shocked. But he walks off, goes to the back of the parking lot. He's on the phone. He doesn't even turn to see what happens to Charlie. He has no idea. Charlie gets in the car. He drives off. Michael McCoy comes back to the crime scene where Terrell Farnsworth is, and it still doesn't seem like he is confused. Seems like he is on a mission. He's going somewhere. And I thought that was very interesting because he was MIA the second the bang happened. But now look at him. Still walking around. He's supposed to not know what's going on, but clearly he's on his way somewhere. Still on the phone, got the phone in his hand like he's on speakerphone. And he's walking somewhere else now. But again, the biggest thing for me that was like so weird is the fact that he didn't know what happened to Charlie. So like, I don't know how much time this was after the Big Bang, but if you didn't really know what happened, then what's up with you just walking around everywhere? He's just walking around. Walked away after the Big Bang, walks to the back of the parking lot. He's still on the phone, just walking around as everybody's shoving Charlie in the car. Then he walks back to the crime scene. He just walks past Terrell Farnsworth. Everything is just walking. Everything, everywhere he's going is just walking. No type of panic. At least with Terrell Farnsworth, he looks very nervous. At least he looks nervous. He looks like he's like definitely looking over his shoulder a million times, trying to hide the SD card, whatever he's doing. Allegedly, it appears to look that way. But Michael McCoy is a very calm, collective, smooth criminal right here. And to me, that just does not scream like, I had no idea what happened that day. I think he's well aware. But that was my first time ever seeing Michael McCoy again after he walked away from the tent after the Big Bang. And y'all know where I stand. I don't think Michael McCoy is innocent at all, even though a lot of people may think he is the sweet person that just caught up at the wrong. No, absolutely not, bro. That man is guilty as ever, just like the rest of them, in my opinion. He was the only person out of that whole crowd. He was the only person that didn't even react, like didn't even flinch. What the heck? He was the only person that turned and walked away before Charlie even hit the ground. He knows exact facts. He knows exactly what happened. Super crazy thought. But what if Candace hired Andrew to do all of this insane publicity just to get close to TPUSA? Just think about it. That's all I'm saying. It's crazy how he came out of nowhere. I'm open to thinking about all theories. I will never ever shut anybody down because all of this is weird. Can I see that? Probably not, to be honest. I don't know because I don't. I mean, the way he's just been talking about Candace on his when he went on the Charlie Kirk show and all this other stuff. I don't think they're cool. But at the same time, it's all weird, like she invited all of these people in her house. It's not normal, even though, if you point it out, then you're the one getting a lecture about something. But it's not normal for all of these random people to be over at her house for this debate, and nobody really knows the details. Nobody knows who's showing up. She mentioned people were in like her children's like playroom. I'm like, that's kind of weird, but maybe they knew. Maybe they knew each other, but then that would be a whole nother story about like, you know, it's all weird. He knows, yeah, no flinch whatsoever to that unexpected bang, right? Remember Michael McCoy's wife posted on IG, they all knew, then deleted it. Man, it's so many things that has been talked about that was posted on IG that day that was deleted. It's like 2 or 3 people have told me that they could have sworn they saw an Erica Kirk story on Instagram of them being in Provo together. But obviously nobody looked into it, nobody thought nothing of it. And obviously now everything's deleted. So, but there was like 2 or 3 people that was like, bro, I could have sworn. Remember, there was no recoil on that rifle on the roof that I'm flinching, Mikey. Facts. Jay says he is open. I would say close it immediately. There's no hell of a stranger to my facts. I wouldn't either. But hey, let me Google something because somebody told me to Google, was Erica Kirk in Utah when Charlie was. Somebody told me to Google that question on AI. I mean, somebody told me to Google that question and pull up the AI to see what they say, because they sent me a screenshot and it had some interesting things, but my AI is not. Nah, my AI didn't show that. Did Andrew Wilson ever drop the text on his show? I would never watch his show, just curious. Yeah, he did drop it. He dropped it. He dropped it on Saturday. All right, let's take a look at. Let's take a look at Josh Carr's debate. Oh my gosh, man. I think y'all know how I feel about it. But y'all know how I feel about it. All right. Let's check it out.
Knowing how I'm a native of Orem, Utah. I live just a few minutes away.
Josh fully, because everyone. For me personally, I don't believe that Tyler Robinson is the lone gunman. So, all right, what up, Josh? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Love having these conversations.
Right on. Thank you for joining me. And I know that back and forth, they got pushed back a little bit with the Candace Owens debate, but I mean, that's understandable too. So I'm glad we were able to get it done today. So first, would you?
Maybe I'll consider. I'll reconsider. Because if it's been in the works for a while, cool. I just thought it was oddly the timing was very weird, but according to what he just said, I'll reconsider.
You explain like like what do you believe about all of this, and how have you come to that belief?
Sure. Yeah. So for your audience that may not know me, I'm a native of Orem, Utah. I live just a few minutes away from where Charlie Kirk was shot. And I fortunately wasn't there that day, but I have literally hundreds of people that I know who were there that day. And so pretty off the bat, there was reports. I have several friends that said they heard gunshots from the Losi Center. So, immediately I thought, okay, someone's shot from afar. We have no idea who this was. Interestingly enough, I actually was in St. George the day that Tyler Robinson turned himself in. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, there you go. I mean, that's pretty simple. And then he didn't plead guilty. And so I thought, okay, this is going to be a little more complicated. And so I, knowing how the court system works, I thought, well, unfortunately, we're just not going to get a lot of answers for the next, 8 to 10 months until a preliminary hearing. And then we'll see if it goes to trial after that. But that's not what happened. What happened was there were different podcasts.
I'm muted. My bad. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll jump around to different parts to hear some of his points.
Who came out
or investigator. A lot of these people are just independent journalists. I do agree that people should vet sources and do their best to not draw conclusions and make claims, right? But so there was stuff we missed. So Candace Owens, I feel, has contributed a good part to investigating the possible angles, which it seems the FBI failed to even look into. And so going back to what my original point was, if you're deriving the majority of your information from the evidence, right, that was only collected by the FBI, handed off to the Utah County State's Attorney's Office, and then that's the only evidence that you're really, deriving your, information from. If they don't investigate other possible leads, you're not going to be able to, understand if there was other people involved in the planning, preparation, and execution of it. That was the point.
I understand what you're saying. First off, I think it's presumptuous at times when Candace Owens
said he reminds you of Nick Brooks. I feel that vibe too right now. I feel that vibe too. Guess who's late? Hey, better late than never. Welcome.
Other people say that something was not looked into when they have no idea if it was looked into. Oftentimes people say this wasn't looked into because there was no conclusion that came from it. It's entirely possible that it was looked into and that there was just no conclusion drawn from it. The other thing on that point, I will say I'm weary of it, but I'm still open to investigative journalism if it's presented in a truthful manner today. I just am not seeing any evidence of that.
I mean, I agree with that. I think a lot of people popped up on the scene and are not helping. I agree with that. I think on both sides.
I appreciate that.
On both sides, though.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. What was I going to say? What do you do with the whole Joe Kent thing then? Because that would be some sort of circumstantial evidence that something was shut down by the FBI.
Just what specifically? Because there's a few things with Joe Kent.
Okay, so Joe Kent, was the director of the Counterterrorism Center, and their job. Well, the reason why it was created was after 9/11 because of the interagency failures that happened to stop 9/11, right? Like there was siloed information in the FBI and CIA, but if they had communicated and put that together, it was possible, at least it was posited that they would have had a better opportunity to stop 9/11. And so they wanted to do away with that. And that's why the NCTC was created. And one of the main jobs, especially as the director of the NCTC, would have been to look into any possible foreign nexus, foreign ties, foreign leads as it resulted to the Charlie Kirk assassination. But that was shut down immediately by Kash Patel. And he's not the only one that said it. If you want to go watch a podcast with Mike Ritland, who's a former Navy SEAL, and Mike Glover, who's former Delta Force and worked for counterterrorism, he said himself that the CIA and the NCTC were shut down. So that's different sources that say the same thing by Kash Patel.
Yeah, a couple of things on this. So first off, I don't think Joe Kent is trustworthy in any way. I actually think he's a traitor to our country. He openly leaked information about private citizens to Candace Owens. She's fully admitted to that. So just
no, she didn't. She didn't admit that Joe Kent was her leak, and there's no proof that Joe Kent was a leaker.
on that point, he openly leaked information about private citizens to Candace Owens. She's fully admitted to that. So just off the bat, I don't think he's trustworthy at all. However, on that point, at that point of the investigation, Tyler Robinson had already turned himself in. There was already DNA on a weapon of Tyler Robinson. We're not sure exactly what they had found at that point, but I think it's easy to assume that they had found at least some footage of someone who looked like Tyler Robinson or was wearing something that Tyler Robinson would wear. I'm not an investigator. If it were me and I had been in charge and I'd seen all that, I wouldn't be like, let's divert resources to see if Israel or Qatar or Russia or anyone was involved with this. So I don't really find that compelling evidence at all. Again, I wouldn't have looked into a foreign government with all those things that they already knew at that point. If they had no suspect, then absolutely, why not?
Well, I mean, first off, they wouldn't be diverting like resources that would otherwise be going to the investigation to the Charlie Kirk assassination. And can you be specific for your audience and mine?
Andrew who? Andrew went from questioning the Tyler narrative and now he's on there. Andrew who? Covette?
What was it that you're saying Joe Kent leaked that was from a private citizen?
So Candace Owens said that Joe Kent, so she said, I have someone in the government who is looking into people, and that's what I'm using in order to vet before I have someone on. So she alluded to it being Joe Kent. We weren't for sure about that. But then recently in her debate with Andrew Wilson, she openly said that it was Joe Kent. We know for a fact that this was used for Mitch Snow, which is ironic since Mitch Snow has turned out to be a complete con man. So it seems Joe Kent didn't do a great job. But yeah, I mean, I would call that let's just assume for a second Joe Kent did do it. I'm assuming you're not agreeing with me that happened. Wouldn't you agree that if someone was the head of counter terror, if they were doing background checks for a podcaster, that would be some level of treason?
I have to go back and remember like what specifically, because I remember this coming up in the way that you're framing it. It's not exactly how I remembered it. And so
it's not. I mean, she said that Joe Kent vetted Mitch, but like that was it. He wasn't leaking stuff to Candace, and that made him a traitor, and he's been Candace's leak this entire time. Like, no, that's totally different.
But again, I understand if you're thinking for a sec, I don't know if that's Joe Kent, but would you agree that if Joe Kent did that would be completely just, I mean, almost jailable, really?
If he leaked what was actually classified information or something of an investigation, but are we talking about text messages?
No, it's that Candace Owens would go to Joe Kent and would say, I've got this person who wants to go on my podcast and be a source. Will you look into them and then tell me if they're cool or not?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I don't know why I had a complete brain fart. Yeah, it was weird for Andrew Wilson to do all of that, and now he was on Charlie Kirk's show, and it's weird for him to call Erica Kirk the R word and somehow end up on a Charlie Kirk show. Like, you would think that they'd be more pissed at Andrew Wilson than Joe Kent. They came out and just went at Joe Kent head. Andrew Wilson was the one that called Erica the R word. They didn't even care.
And to me, that's like completely unacceptable.
That happens all the time.
No, a private podcaster cannot go to the head of counterterrorism and say, hey, will you just do this little work for me on the side? Let me know how this private citizen is. Tell me if they've got any skeletons in their closet.
Megyn Kelly has sources high up in government. So does Jack Posobiec. I mean, it happens all the time. They have sources in government that I'm
not defending any of those people. Completely unacceptable. Anytime someone leaks, and people have gone to jail for doing that, especially when you're looking to a private citizen. I mean,
they weren't leaking though.
Crazy.
He was doing a background check on someone.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you wouldn't be upset if you found out that I went to my friend in the White House and said, hey, will you look into this guy for me before I go on his podcast? Tell me everything about him so that I can come prepared.
I mean, yeah, when you're saying it about me personally, yeah, I wouldn't want to be the subject
and not only
of
that, but that person should probably go to jail. They should lose their job, which Joe Kent did. He lost his job immediately after because they caught him.
He left, though. He didn't get fired.
Yeah.
You don't believe that?
I don't, but it's fine.
Right.
But, yeah, that's neither here nor there. The point is, I don't think Joe Kent is a credible source. So,
all right. Well, I mean, I do, and I think that some things that happen all the time on a daily basis, whether we completely agree with whether they should happen or not, and that this one person did it and Yeah, I mean the ballistic report that that they were inconclusive. They were unable to match the bullet to
Right.
the gun.
And if it's a cover up, it's just conclusive. Like it's pretty easy, you know.
No,
Like I'm pretty sure
no.
Israel is capable of making it conclusive, and the CIA is as well.
I mean, also, I mean, I could make an argument to the contrary. Just reference JFK, reference every other, you know, assassination, which clearly was more than what they said it was. Even his younger brother Teddy wasn't shot by Zarhan. Even his son states that. Even RFK states that. But no, they're not going to wrap up the most perfect investigation because of what you just said.
According to you, it's not even just perfect. It's like not conclusive at all.
Well, correct.
Like
but
there's no evidence that's good.
Hold on, I'm only responding to your argument that if there was a conspiracy and a cover up, that why wouldn't they just make it all perfect? And it's because what you had said previous to that is that would be an indicator of a cover up, right? And so like I could, even though we're both speculating about how hypotheticals, what I'm saying is just because it wasn't perfect doesn't prove that it's not a conspiracy. And likewise, just because it's not perfect doesn't mean that it is a conspiracy. And that's not my argument. So, okay.
You would just think, I'm just wondering, like, if there was some sort of cover up or if there was, you know, someone else who did this and they're trying to frame Tyler Robinson, you would think like one piece of evidence would just come back as a home run for all those skeptics out there.
Well, it doesn't, I don't know what you mean by home run, but I mean, I definitely just, so even like the chain of custody, like with the screwdriver, the rifle, how it was found. I mean, do you find issue that the FBI had no jurisdiction to be involved in this investigation unless there was a conspiracy? And yet they are the ones that did the entire investigation, 33 hours, finished the investigation, handed it off to the prosecution. Do you not find that suspicious?
It's something I'd like more information on for sure. Like this is where like real, actual, solid investigative journalism would be helpful. But I haven't gotten any of that. Like I guess my attitude is I love the questions, but I question the questioners sometimes because it doesn't seem like they're acting in good faith. And I hear people talking about the FBI, for example, and I'm just wondering, you know, what evidence is there that the FBI made some sort of mistake or didn't carry out the investigation? Not a forensics expert. Yeah. And the defense didn't try to catch her in her words on this specific point, which is their job to do. DNA evidence can be degraded for a variety of reasons. It has nothing to do with time.
It's a debate between Josh Carr, who I'll be talking with on Thursday, and Matt from the Black Line Brief.
Can have to do with heat or cold or what it's touching or abrasions, things of that nature. And so I think the prosecution did a very effective job of kind of just putting that to bed and just saying the degradation is essentially worthless. It's really about the presence of DNA. And I would agree with you that the DNA alone is not enough for probable cause, but it wasn't the only thing shown that day.
Well, so there's only 3 things that could put Tyler Robinson on the roof with the rifle, which they have to have in order to prove the shot. Okay. They have the screwdriver, right? Because that was supposedly found on the roof, which it wasn't initially reported. It initially was reported to be found next to the rifle in the bushes by a news, like by a mainstream news source that actually had a source directly in the investigation. So it was from a police officer investigating it. So it wasn't them just speculating. They referenced the source that's where they found it. But they realized that, well, I don't know what they realized, but so the screwdriver on the roof. Okay. Then you have this footage, which do you at least admit you can't tell who that is on the roof? You're deriving from the other videos
Correct.
in the day also, which don't clearly show him except for the ones that you're referencing, but that's not even when he was there in the Eagle Boy outfit. So, I mean, even the one that you're stating is clearly him is him at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I know we're going to come across in disagreement, but I think that there's another time in that third time where you can see it's clearly him.
But he's walking up the stairs?
Yeah.
From the one that was released publicly or a different one that was shown that we didn't get to see?
No, from the public ones.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to get bogged down in like a meta argument over that.
I know we're just going to disagree on it, but
yeah.
I think there's a huge exaggeration of like it looks nothing like him, or like people who have actually deliberately photoshopped.
But Lance Twiggs also said I can't really tell that it's him, the camera quality. So for Josh Carr to say it was just definitely him, it's clearly him. His boyfriend didn't even think that. So like, what are we talking about? Yeah, I'll have to take a listen to more of it later on for sure to see his style and what he does. But I kind of believed already that he was going to be somebody that just believes the government, believes that it's just typically what it was. Well, I mean, what it is with these people, a lot of these people are just like, I just trust the government. I believe them. And it's like, that's why I say it's a conversation, not really a debate, because like what are we actually debating? Like court documents and stuff. It's not really a debate. A lot of stuff could be labeled as speculation, and so I just want to enter his just conversation, see where his head is at, and see how does he come to these conclusions. What makes him feel so confident when even Lance Twiggs, who be up and down Tyler Robinson every night in the craziest ways, said that he can't tell if that's Tyler Robinson or not due to the camera quality, but you got Josh Carr up here saying it was definitely him 100%. I mean, okay. It'll be interesting. FBI leaked text message which completely used code. That's #1 in my suspicious book against code. And I know I just landed on your YouTube. I'm sorry. But I followed both your TikToks, so I know you don't fully trust anyone's narrative, including Candace. I appreciate you for knowing me. I do appreciate you for knowing me. There are a lot of people, and that's typically the whole community. Y'all know me, so it is a beautiful thing that I can feel like I can be myself. Not that I'm ever pretending to be anybody else, but like on here, I feel like I can just like throw out my thoughts, and most people in the community are like, yeah, like that sounds like a J opinion right there. But when you put it in other places, it could be annoying. So hence why, last night we had a great conversation, but to protect my own mental, I just put it in the members only, bro. I wasn't even trying to hear or see any of that. I really wasn't. I was not up for it, if y'all couldn't tell already. So yeah, I appreciate you for saying that. He is causing Matt to get confused. Josh does his typical liberal style debate tactics. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out, because yeah, it's interesting. As long as it's good conversation, as long as it's good faith, at least no condescending sarcasm. Warren, that was on Didi when him and Didi debated. Not any of that. I can't do that. Don't do that. Let's just have a conversation. You ain't nobody gotta take any jabs or sarcasm or condescending or passive aggressiveness. None of that. I guess if you throw up, my fault. I say if you throw up, I guess if you grow up eating schlop, it just tastes too good to try anything else. Great questions. Make him defend what Lance said. Period is over. Yeah, I mean that's like the goal. It's like, cool, if you gonna say all of this stuff, then yeah, you're gonna have to defend everything that's happened in the case. Like, you're gonna have to defend all the things that Lance Twiggs said. You're gonna have to defend all the things that Turning Point USA has said when they came out of the courtroom and they said that it was can't say too much, but y'all get it. Y'all get it. When your real people got your back. True that. Man. All right. So going into switching gears a little bit, going into a funny topic that has just truly been humoring me over these last couple of weeks, and that is the WNBA trying to figure out. Oh, I guess sorry to not just like in that conversation. Stacey, what's going on? Me and Josh. Dang, bro. Don't drink Alani drinks. I know I be doing it every night, but I wouldn't advise it to drink an Alani drink and then start doing a whole bunch of talking. Me and Josh will be having a conversation on, debate, open discussion, open conversation on Thursday at 10 p.m. This Thursday at 10 p.m. So please tune in. It's live. So y'all know how that go. It's open. So just the link is already up on the page. So all you gotta do is just go there. You'll find it there. Hopefully it is a great conversation and we can move the needle. That's it. In whatever way that may look. Hopefully we can move the needle. Hopefully we can, both sides can understand each other a little bit better. Even if it's me understanding something a little bit better on that side, then cool. I'm okay with that. But that's the goal, is just to come together, have a conversation, because I think at the end of the day, like we talked about yesterday on last night's episode, is that this whole thing is just dividing everybody. When we don't know these people, this is not something that we should just be, I don't know, acting like this about, or over. We should all be just coming together. And yes, it could be a disagreement, but we should not be against each other. It's the same thing with the Lindsey Clancy case. The same thing. It is a very tough, sensitive case. Nobody's denying that, but I think it's one of those cases that it's making people choose a side. And it's making you, if you go this way, everybody hates you. If you go that way, this side hates you. And it's like, bro, nothing ever should be that way. It should never be that way about people we don't know, about any of this stuff. Like, some of these things are just put out there to divide us. You can have a conversation and somebody could think the opposite, and you can easily just say, yeah, bro, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that. That's cool. That's you. If that's what you want to do, then that's what you do. If that's how you want to think, then that's how you think. Did you see Royce White had a few people convinced he was I had to pull it up. I was yelling watching BLB earlier. I'm gonna have to watch the whole thing later on tonight and see how it went. In full and see how that, I don't know. We're gonna see. Hopefully Matt held it down. All right, so let's switch gears a little bit into the WNBA, because there was a ruling from the WNBA, but there has been a lot has gone on in the last couple of weeks as well before we get to the ruling. So what I want to start with, once I find what I want to start with is on August 23rd. So last night, Enes Kanter, who was one of the NBA players that is claiming to now be a woman, a transgendered woman, and has declared for the WNBA draft, he showed up to a WNBA game last night, and I knew that was not going to go well, and it didn't. So I want to show a clip of how that went with him in attendance.
6-point basketball game. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Cloud. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well. Kanter was just escorted out.
Say, how dare you say he is beautiful? She. Yeah, it is crazy. Enes Kanter went there to disrupt for sure. He went there to cause chaos. And look at his shirt. Woman, noun, adult human, female. So he is putting on a show. And I know a lot of people there's been a lot of different takes, especially on TikTok and stuff, about like how the WNBA doesn't even have like any transgendered women in the WNBA. So why is he doing it when there's none of those people in the WNBA? But I just think that it's a bigger picture, and I know it's weird. I'm all for it, just because I can't stand when people have those conversations of like, what is a woman? Like, are you serious, bro? Like can we not? Can we please not? We're all grown adults here. And so the WNBA not being able to identify what a woman is, I was like, okay, yeah, that is kind of crazy to take that stance and be all political when you're a women's basketball association, something that you have been grinding to create this space for women to compete at the highest level in the game of basketball. and you're gonna sit here and talk about we don't know what a woman is. Yeah, that is very crazy. So Enes Kanter decided to take it to the next level. Is it extreme? Absolutely. But I think these leagues are very annoying when they try to get all political. It's the same as the NBA. I can't stand when the NBA, when something happens like in police brutality or some crazy thing, and then the NBA gets all super political. NFL too, everybody gets all super political and tries to do this whole thing. And I'm like, bro, these things happen this amount of times a year, this many times a year. It's way bigger things going on in this country. But when it does happen, all of these things get so political and you can't say certain things and all of that. So I think Enes Kanter is just exploiting that. He's like, bro, I'm going to get these people to come out and say what a woman is, because this is getting ridiculous. And so he had that scuffle, or I guess that shouting match with one of his queens last night on the court. And then he also was on news was today. So he is on a run right now. This is him earlier today.
Do you actually think the WNBA, and sources were telling various media outlets today that they've essentially decided you and Royce cannot play in the WNBA. You will not be eligible. And they're going to say something about the it's a publicity stunt. You're not really a trans woman. Are you a trans woman?
Well, I want to make.
How do you know that? Ma'am, how do you know that he ain't trans? Come on now. This is why I support it. You wanna stand on weird, I don't want to say like, you want to stand on all of that. You want to stand on all of these different things going on in this country, in this world. Then you got to stand on it. How are you going to tell him that he's not trans?
It's very clear.
Are you a trans? It's a publicity stunt. You're not really a trans woman. Are you a trans woman?
Well, I want to make this very clear.
Are you a trans woman?
Listen, Section 13, right? Article 13, Section 1 says if you identify as a woman, then you're allowed to play.
So you are identifying as a woman tonight?
I identify as a woman. Sure, yes.
Okay.
So I can play.
But they're never going to let you play.
Why not? I mean, that's the rule. That's the rule that they put, and I'm just following the rules. If they ever come out and say, okay, we are changing the rules, I respect their decision. I will, follow the rules. But right now, if you identify as a woman, you're allowed to play. And I am identifying as a woman, and I should be allowed to play. See?
You said Sophie Cunningham.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I like a good laugh. I think he said a little bit more. Let me find it. All right, here is Enes Kanter talking about what that shouting match and argument was about with that player.
NBA player who was kicked out of the Chicago Sky game this weekend. Inez, I know you want to be in the WNBA, but tell us what Natasha Cloud said to you. What was she yelling at you when she came toward you?
So I went to the game, right? And I actually loved the game because I enjoyed the game. This is my passion, and this is my, what was my childhood dream, just basketball. And in the first half, I watched the game, and it was an amazing time. And then the second half, towards the third quarter, they put Sophie Cunningham in. And I remember around the last 3-minute mark, she shot the ball, and I put my hand in the air to celebrate it, right? And then Natasha Cloud saw that, my celebration. Literally the next position, she came back and she started yelling at me and said, she's not going to sleep with you.
Wait, who's not going to sleep with you?
Sophie Cunningham is not going to sleep with
I don't even understand. Are you trying to?
I'm not trying
Sophie
to. No,
Cunningham?
definitely not. Definitely not. I want to make this very clear. Definitely not. And I'm just confused at that point. I'm like, I turned around to my manager. I'm like, what is she talking about? And he was shocked. And after that, I was like, the next position, I was like, I'm not trying to sleep with her. I'm just here to protect women and support my friend Sophie Cunningham. And then after that, obviously,
and it's really tricky because a lot of people are again, not really understanding. And I understand that perspective as far as him saying, I'm trying to protect women, but he's going inside of women, and he's going inside women's spaces and disrupting a WNBA game. So how is that protecting women when you're disrupting their space? And I understand that logical perspective. That is logical perspective. I get it. But it's like, it's deeper than that. It's even deeper than that. He's more so protecting the sport. This game might be disrupted, but what I'm doing is saving your sport forever. And I think that's where it goes over a lot of people's heads, is that they're always just focused on what's happening right now. There's no transgenders in the league right now. So why is he doing this? But in reality, him and Royce White doing this will forever change the way the WNBA looks at what a woman is. Moving forward, if this ends up being denied, which I know they said it earlier, but if it ends up being like written in the rule book and handbook and all that other stuff, there will never be a transgendered woman in the WNBA, and they will have to thank these dudes. They will have to thank them, because the women, the owners, the GMs, all of these women around the league, we talked about it in the last episode, they struggle with finding out, or they struggle with understanding what a woman is and figuring out what a woman is. Women are struggling with finding out, or women are struggling with understanding what a woman is. And you have these men coming out saying, I'll tell you what a woman is. Moving forward, I'm going to play in your league. And now they all of a sudden, they can quickly come up with what a woman is. So thank you to Enes Kanter and Royce White. There will never be a transgender basketball player in the WNBA.
The next position, she started to yell and cuss at me. And I was like, there are so many kids in that stance. There are so many teenagers that
What was she? What you don't say the words. The F word?
Oh, a lot of F-bombs. A lot of
F-bombs.
Okay.
Chill out.
Bombs. And at that point, I'm confused, because, like, obviously she is loved by the Chicago fans, and she has so many fans on the stands.
She's a talented player.
Many kids, and I'm like, this shouldn't be happening. This is not a sportsmanship. Like, so I was confused, and then she started to come towards me. I literally got up. I played 11 years in NBA. I know the rules. I did not step over the baseline, so I literally just got up,
courtside, essentially,
open my hands, right, and I was like, I'm here to protect women. I'm here to support my friends. That's all. And then she was just cussing and yelling. And then right after that, the security just got in and just threw me out. I was like, what did I do? She should be the one that thrown out of the game.
What was on your shirt, your T-shirt? That obviously triggered them.
That is it.
Oh my gosh. It is hilarious. And then let me see if there was anything else.
NBA.
We just saw that clip. But the WNBA finally came out with somewhat of a statement. It said the WNBA reportedly says Enes Kanter freedom and Royce White. Hey. He already said Royce. See, that's what we talking about. The pronouns, the names. I mean, this is what he taught. He said Royce. That's disrespectful right there. And Royce White are ineligible for the 2027 WNBA draft, but hasn't explained why, which is not good again. Unnamed league sources called the former NBA players' declarations simply publicity stunts after both said they were entering the draft amid the debate over transgender athletes in women's sports. But again, that goes to the same argument. So these people are saying, hey, I am a woman, since that's all it takes. But then they're going to call that a publicity stunt. So what about the people who are actually transgender? Are there it's just a whole bunch of publicity stunts walking around? Are they really faking it? That's why this conversation is so crazy. Now they're saying, oh, if you're transgender, it's just a publicity stunt. You're not really transgender. You don't really mean that. The league's collective bargaining agreement says only women are eligible to play, but does not define woman or include language about gender identity or sex assigned at birth. Outkicked asked the WNBA to explain the eligibility criteria it used, but the league did not respond before publication. It's getting crazy. Do you think there may be transgenders already in the WNBA? That's why they won't take a position. Hey, now. I think that Brittany Griner is an interesting individual. Brittany Griner? Yeah. Brittany Griner is an interesting individual. A lot of them are very interesting. There's a great point that you made. And I can definitely understand as well if that actually is the case. It's weird. But it'll be worth it. All they gotta do is just come out and say what a woman is. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. I think I will be not happily surprised to know how many people are trans changing. I do think that, yep, that's a man. Yeah, Brittany Griner is let me show a picture for all the people that don't know who Brittany Griner is. She is about 6'8". Let's see. Okay. I'm sorry. Listen, I am sorry. Yes, I am looking for a rough picture. Not like that, just like a questionable, like something that would support my claim that I think that she may be a very suspicious one. I will have to make sure to delete these off my computer. I don't want these on here. This is Brittany Griner. Says 6'8". No way. Yeah, this is Brittany Griner, a woman, allegedly. Very interesting person right here. This is Brittany Griner. She is, 6'8", plays in the WNBA. She's been playing for quite a while now. She went to Baylor. I remember those days. Here is another picture of this person. All right. It can't be up there for that long. I mean, right? That's basically cleavage on the screen, right? I should get banned. Or am I not going to get banned because it's a man? If it's just a man that's shirtless, then I won't get banned, right? But if it's actually a woman, then the stream should be taken down soon, right? Grinder. Right. Yeah, she's and said no scars. She's I think married to, a woman. So, it's weird. It's all weird. It's all weird. Is she a dude? I'm lost. Allegedly, she's a woman. Allegedly. That ain't no woman's chest I ever saw. I mean, look, this is supposed to be terrible for the stream. This is a woman, right? Showing cleavage. But I'm gonna assume that YouTube is gonna think that this is just a regular man just at the pool. They're getting divorced. Oh, I didn't know that. That's unfortunate. No arguing in the household, she says, and he does. She's got a couple of baby mamas too. She's oh yeah, so this part apparently she is getting divorced. That's the second person that said that. Let me see. Well, I mean, I guess it probably wouldn't just be popping up, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that is a great point you made. That is a great, excellent point that you made. Yeah, it's very weird. Very weird. Now, there's also been crazy news as well. So the WNBA will be keeping up with that. We'll be following that. At the moment, that's where it rests and is, the WNBA puts out a somewhat of a statement saying that Royce White, let me see if Royce White did anything crazy. Royce White is actually the funniest one out of the two because he is full on with this thing. Royce, I'm sorry. My bad. All right. Royce has commented on I think the WNBA rejecting him. He said, update, I have not received any official. I guess I don't have to zoom in that close. I have not received any official or unofficial communication back from the WNBA regarding my eligibility. I will say, as a Black trans lesbian, the rumors of denial for my multi-sport existence are concerning. I'd also like to remind everyone there is a I don't know if I can say that word on here, taking place right now in America. These kind of casual comments lead to violence in our deaths. It's crazy because he ain't lying. These are the talking points that they say. So that's, oh my gosh. If the sources are true, I would like to see the league take immediate action to correct anybody who refuses to affirm my identity or use my pronouns. Pay me. Yo, this dude is hilarious. The WNBA leadership has to show up and do the work. To tell a Black trans woman she is not a woman or that the trans experience is a stunt. I literally just said that. It's transphobic, bigoted, and racist. It's literally not, I don't even know how to say that. Nazism and white supremacy. I think the commissioner may be demonstrating some white privilege. No, Royce White for president. Bro, this guy is amazing. Amazing, bro. I love the fact that he is just full on soaking it in. Like, yeah, bro, let's take this thing all the way. Let's take it all the way. I've been Royce is doing amazing work. Simply with the gifted, man. Thank you for blessing somebody in the community with a Yap family membership. It's gonna be dropped on somebody. Thank you, Simply, for gifting that. You see some of these comments. They are committing that against you, literally. Oh Lord. What a dilemma. Admit a man is not a woman or let a 7 foot, 250-pound man play. Oh my gosh, bro. That is hilarious. The things the WNBA is going through right now. All they got to do is just say a man is not a woman, but then they're going to have to stand on that. But they don't want to upset the woke crowd. They don't want to upset them at all. They don't want to upset the liberal plantation. So they don't want to admit that a man is not a woman, or just let a 7 foot, 250-pound man play. The WNBA's decision. Oh my gosh, that is funny. It's literal violence. I'm so sorry you were dealing with this, sis. Stay strong. Bro, sue the league, make them go to court and testify what a woman is and set the record straight about their woke trans ideology. This is not a public stunt. This is justice to all women. Right. Said justice for Roysha. Come on now. Bro, this is funny, man. It is literally like one of the funniest stories that we are covering because I'm gonna follow it all the way to the end. A lot of people don't like it, but I understand the bigger picture, and they're gonna look back. Well, maybe women are just gonna hate, but this could easily be something that's pinned in history as looking back saying, dang, the WNBA stood out. I mean, spoke out against men playing in women's sports. And it was all because of Roysha and Ennis Cantor. Bro. And for the ones that haven't seen a lot of Roysha's clips, I'm not going to play it all tonight, but I just want you to just go back and look for yourself. He is all in because look at this clip
really
right
wasn't
here.
A fear of flying. I realized my fear of flying really wasn't a fear of flying. It was the transgender trapped inside of me, caged inside of me, that gave me an aversion to small spaces. I think there are plenty of people out there who have
that makes perfect
a
sense.
transgender trapped deep down inside of them. And so they think
Oh,
they're
every one of you.
claustrophobic.
No. Every one of you do. Let's just be.
Yeah, they think they're claustrophobic. Not really claustrophobic. It's the transgender that's trapped, I realize.
Man, I love it, bro. I really do. Let me see if he said anything else before we move on. Oh my gosh, this was from today. We gotta play it. We have to. We have to. We're already knee deep in now. This is from today. He said they're really showing their true colors. Everybody was all pride this inclusion. Was all pride this, inclusion that, until Roysha popped up on the scene. Now it's get surgery. Let me zoom in a little bit more so y'all can see. Oh, where it go? Here we go. Now it's get surgery, take hormones, wear a dress. The hypocrisy is astounding. These haters don't care about blacks. They don't care about women. And they don't care about transgenders. Y'all are fake allies. You don't know my struggle. They deny my existence and participate in this trans that because I say it like it is. Black women can't even call a spade out here. Being a woman is an experience. It's not biological or scientific. Evolutionary biology is cis normative. Oh my gosh, bro, I'm tripping. Patriarchal. Yes, patriarchal. Listen, okay. White supremacy, there is no such thing as gender. It's a choice. It's fluid. Like my body is my choice and it's full of fluid. I am both. I am neither. I am beyond. This is my lady boy magic era. The moon is in the house of Capricorn. Occur. Royce White for president. Oh my gosh. Let's see what he has to say.
In a cage for 35 years. And now that I'm free, now that I'm liberated, I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be the beautiful black queen I was meant to be. And none of you are going to.
I got to start this
Royce kept me locked in a cage for 35 years. And now that I'm free, now that I'm liberated, I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be the beautiful black queen I was meant to be. And none of you are going to rain on my parade. Because when you start to spew that hatred and that bigotry, and you start to tell me that I need to, subject myself to the same big pharma Isn't it ironic? The same big pharma you say is responsible for the brutal murder of 3 children, the strangulation of 3 small children, the same big pharma you say is ultimately responsible for that, for Lindsay Clancy, is the same big pharma you want me to subject myself to in order to solidify my transition. Well, Royce is a little bit smarter than that. Royce is not going to let anybody determine what constitutes as a legitimate transition. Don't worry about my hormones. Don't worry about my genitalia. Don't worry about my wardrobe.
He's speaking facts, though. I'm just okay.
Somebody tell me online.
And we talked about that a little bit, right? He's speaking facts. We talked about that a little bit. It popped off over the weekend because we the clip of Candace going around saying that Lindsay is innocent and Big Pharma is the people who should go to jail for it. We talked about that a little bit, but like he said it. He said it, not me. He said it.
Constitutes as a legitimate transition. Harder than that. Royce is the same big pharma you children, the strangulation of 3 small children, the same big pharma you say is ultimately responsible for that, for Lindsay Clancy, is the same big pharma you want me to subject myself to in order to solidify my transition. Well, Royce is a little bit smarter than that. Royce is not going to let anybody determine what constitutes as a legitimate transition. Don't worry about my hormones. Don't worry about my genitalia. Don't worry about my wardrobe. I had somebody tell me online that Royce can't wear a suit, that Royce can't wear a suit and a wig, that's not feminine enough, that's not trans. Call the ITC, call the International Trans Court, and tell them your complaints about my transgender dress code.
Now all of a sudden they got rules and guidelines to be trans. Now all of a sudden you know what a woman is. Now all of a sudden you got the dress code and you got to wear this. You got to say this. You got to have this. Now all of a sudden you know. Okay.
You got to complain about my black trans lesbian dress code? Call the ITC. Call the ITC and you file an official complaint. Royce is going to dress how she wants to dress. And to be honest, I think all of you Decepticons out there, all you Decepticons out there who, for some reason, think that you need to change your hormones, have a surgery, talk to a therapist, and dress like a woman in order to be a transgender. I mean, isn't that cisnormative? Why would a man need to wear long fingernails, get boobs, cut off his clitoris, and have the confirmation of anybody in order to be a transgender? Why? We believe all women. If you say you're a woman, you're a woman. That's how y'all wanted to play it. That's how Royce is going to play it. If you say you're a woman, you're a woman. That's the rule. If you feel like a woman, being a woman is an experience. It has nothing to do with biology. Sex.
This is why it's such a crazy conversation, because I have just never in my life seen like women not defend being a woman, what being a woman is. It is so much more than an experience. It is so much more than a costume. But women are the one that allow it. They really are. It's the same thing when it comes to like, like gay dudes. It's the same thing. Like women just accept it so freely. It's so common. When it's like, bro, why? It's so much more to be a woman. It's so much more. Like it's a special thing. There's only one gender that can carry a child for X amount of time and do the things that God has allowed women to do naturally. And then women come out of nowhere being like, I mean, hey, bro, it just be free. You are whatever you want to be. If you want to be a woman, that's okay. We don't discriminate. Like, I'm like, bro, okay.
Does not proceed from biology, and genitalia does not determine gender. Reproductive organs do not determine gender. That's how y'all wanted to play it, so that's how Royce is going to play it. Okay. I'm a beautiful.
Look at, he's not even laughing, bro. He said, "Oh, Kurt," he ain't even laugh at all.
Determine gender. Reproductive organs do not determine gender. That's how y'all wanted to play it, so that's how Royce is going to play it. Okay.
Look how serious he is, bro. Oh my gosh. Dude. Oh my gosh, bro. He is so for real.
I'm a beautiful black trans lesbian, and you all better start showing me the respect that I deserve. Royce deserves to be respected as a black woman. And you know, it's just funny. I haven't gotten any calls from Vanity Fair. I haven't gotten any calls from Sports Illustrated to do a body edition. I haven't gotten any calls from the Grammys or the Oscars or any of these other award shows that want to give me a Lifetime Achievement Award for my bravery, my stunningness and my bravery. Give me a Woman of the Year award. Why is that? Is it political? Because surely it's not my look. Surely you don't think that Royce is ugly. Surely you're not saying that a beautiful black queen like Royce isn't slaying. So why don't I get any Woman of the Year awards? Why don't I get any praise, any recognition? Why doesn't Royce get any recognition? Why doesn't Royce get recognition from the woke mob, from the woke left?
Think I'm a baby again.
I have to go get on hormones. I have to, don't bully my hormones. I have to go get on hormones to get recognized as a transgender. I have to go sit with a therapist.
I ain't even realize he on the Alex Jones show.
I have to go get a surgery to be a legitimate transgender. I don't understand it. I really don't. There are more requirements to prove you're a transgender than to prove you're eligible to vote in this country. I never knew that. This false advertisement. The transgender communities, I'm getting ready to bring a class action suit against the transgender community for false advertisement. You all told me to believe all women, and if you feel like a woman, then you are a woman. And now I become a woman. I become a black trans lesbian, and you all tell me that I need to show, a government-issued ID. Well, I'm a black trans lesbian. It's hard for us to get government-issued ID.
Bro, I'm not going to hold you. He spoke facts the whole 5 minutes. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, bro.
Royce kept me locked in the kitchen.
I gotta like that. That is funny, man. I'm not gonna lie. That is hilarious. Oh, we'll be following we'll be following that story until it hits the end, wherever that may be. We'll be following it, seeing where it goes. But yeah, as you can see, the WNBA is at a crossroads. They don't know where to go from here. Now, the last thing, kind of two things colluded in one. Not colluded, but two things combined in one. Is the Karmelo Anthony case. Oh, Kurt. The Carmelo Anthony case, I feel like I'm a tiger, therefore I am. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's take it there. Let's take it there. If we just all feeling spicy, we feeling any type of way, then hey, we all can be anything at this point. It's insane, man. That's why, like, we're gonna get into the Lindsey Clancy thing in a little bit too. But I know that, again, please, safe space. I know it's a sensitive topic. Okay. You cannot agree with me. That's fine. Completely fine. I probably don't agree with you either. Somebody out there. And that's okay. I just know that when we talk about this case, bro, it'd be so many sensitive people that just like go crazy. But yeah, it's insane. The whole it's so disrespectful. It's so disrespectful to women, yet women allow it. Women allow it. It's so crazy. And it's kind of like that with the Lindsey Clancy case too. Like, I just couldn't even imagine the women out there. Oh man, y'all finna get me going already on that. Hold on, let me go ahead and show one thing on the Karmelo Anthony case, because it is some very interesting information that came out on the Karmelo Anthony case. For the ones that don't know, Karmelo Anthony was the teenager at the time who got in, he I don't know, TikTok language here. He poked somebody at a track meet, Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf did not make it. He and Karmelo Anthony was trying to plead a self-defense case, and he did not win that. And he got sentenced to 35 years in prison, and all he has to do is serve half. To be honest, I thought that was very generous to be charged with murder and you only get 35 years and all you gotta do is serve 17 and some change. So I thought that was very generous. The fact that it went to trial, and it's not like he took a plea. He didn't take a plea at all. He went to trial and he only got 35 years. So I thought that was generous. But more information came out on that retrial, and take a listen, because it is very interesting on both sides. I see one side. Here's the other side right here. Very interesting thing. So I want to also break it down a little bit. According to this trial and according to what's been released, there was this thing called a gentleman's agreement, and that is where the prosecution and the defense agreed to not bring up Karmelo Anthony's past or Austin Metcalf's past. They agreed to set it aside for whatever reason. We don't know. You can obviously speculate all you want to, but they agreed to set it aside and just talk about what happened that day. But in this retrial that Karmelo Anthony attempted to, get, that gentleman's agreement was, eliminated. And then everything that was in the past about these two boys was brought to light. And just take a listen to both of their past and to some of these details that we did not know until this retrial was requested. We are just learning all of this stuff for the first time. And we did not know any of this in the trial. So imagine if we did. But just take a listen to the details of Karmelo Anthony first, and then I'm going to play another video of the details of Austin Metcalf that we didn't know.
This convicted killer Karmelo Anthony's retrial hearing continues today as the judge is considering a trove of evidence that the jury never saw, including disturbing text messages that were sent by Anthony. Todd Pyro joins us now with the latest. Todd?
Ainsley, good morning. The fate of Karmelo Anthony's retrial attempt remains undecided as his hearing for a new trial continues this morning. Prosecutors revealing...
And it was denied, by the way. So we a couple of days late. The retrial was denied. I know he just said that they haven't came to a decision yet.
Disturbing new cited as his hearing for a new trial continues this morning. Prosecutors revealing disturbing new texts showing Anthony threatening to murder his girlfriend around the time Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the heart at a high school track meet. One text from Anthony reads, quote, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?"
What? to his ex-girlfriend? Imagine if we knew this stuff. It gets worse. It gets worse. But imagine if we knew this stuff in the trial. I already was kind of like, it's a reason why this dude is not defending himself. Like, it's a reason he did not get on the stand. Because if he really was like this innocent kid that just got overwhelmed, because kids make stupid mistakes. You know what I mean? He could have easily got on that stand and played the innocent kid that made a stupid mistake, cried a little bit, and he probably would have got less than 35 years. But he didn't even get up there. And I was like, well, he's probably not getting up there for a reason. They probably don't want to, he don't want to get cross-examined, and then it's going to make him look terrible. And it would have, because take a listen to some more things that he said before the altercation where he poked up somebody.
And Anthony reads, quote, "How many bullets you want coming out of your chest?" Anthony sending another saying, quote, "When I stab somebody, I'm going to lick their blood off the blade." And this text sent 2 hours before Metcalf was murdered, reading, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge."
I'm low-key on the verge. The morning of him poking Austin Metcalf, he said he was on the verge. Dog, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, somebody failed him. Somebody failed him when it came to this trial, because this is literally like premeditated. He talked about, he texted that when he was going to stab somebody. Not if or anything. He said, when I do, I'm going to lick the blood. Then he says, I'm low-key on a verge. He's searching for trouble. He's looking to cause damage on somebody.
After receiving these threatening, was murdered, reading, quote, "I'm low-key on the verge." After receiving these threatening texts, Anthony's ex-girlfriend allegedly told an assistant principal he was stalking her. Prosecutors adding Anthony had a history of getting into fights and an obsession with knives and guns. This information just now being revealed to the jury, or just now being revealed, I should say, was kept under wraps by both sides as a gentleman's agreement, promising to not use the text as evidence ahead of Anthony's original murder trial.
Now, it makes you wonder if they did that for money, like if both sides did it for money and just like raked in all the money from, you know, Austin Metcalf's family and Karmelo Anthony's family. Because why in the world would, well, yeah, we're going to get into Austin's past too, because I was about to say, why would Austin's family agree to that gentleman's agreement? You know, because this, again, would prove the meditation part. I mean, the meditation part, the premeditation part. He literally was on a verge. He was looking to cause trouble. And so you would wonder why they would wrap this up, especially for the defense, or for the prosecution. So, I mean, it's weird, but I guess when we hear Austin's past, it's like, hey, okay, well, I guess if Austin pass is brought up, I don't want to spoil it. Let's.
The defense had agreed not to speak on victim Austin Metcalf's juvenile criminal history, which included graffiti and incidents of Metcalf bullying minority students, being violent, and using racial slurs. Anthony's team now claiming the agreement violated his constitutional rights and contributed to his decision not to testify. The court's going to hear more testimony.
So you heard it a little bit. Now we're going to play Austin Metcalf's past video, but that is kind of what I'm assuming why the Metcalf family didn't want their son's past to come out, because then it would kind of play into the self-defense role. Because, like, you know, I just want to play it first before I start talking over what's about to play, because this is important to hear Austin's past.
CBS News Texas has also learned new details about Austin Metcalf's background. Metcalf and his brother Hunter were once caught spray painting graffiti, including KKK Kill All Blacks and Heil Hitler, along with the N-word, and were sentenced to 12 months of juvenile probation. Records reveal they reportedly told authorities, "We did some dumb stuff. We did some vandalism." There are several documented instances of Austin using racial slurs in school, and in 2023, Austin was accused of bullying a black student in class. In 2018, while still in elementary school, Austin and his brother were accused of bullying and assaulting a female, which led to his arrest. During an argument in 2024 with another female student, Austin allegedly knocked her to the ground and punched her in the stomach. He was also kicked out of a football game and texted someone later, "I was about to beat the expletive out of those kids." At a previous track meet, when another student alerted Austin that someone not on their team, quote, "behind our bench was talking wild," Austin reportedly replied, "Kill that MF."
That right there is exactly why they did not want Austin's past to be revealed. Because that would then favor the self-defense claim of Karmelo Anthony. Because if he had said that before, somebody's under the tent.
Our bench was talking wild. Austin reportedly
somebody behind our bench was talking wild, and Austin says, "Do that, eliminate him." Then who was to say that he didn't say that day when Karmelo Anthony was under their tent? And that's why Karmelo Anthony immediately did what he did. So I can, when I started to hear Austin's past, I said, I guess from a, legal perspective and from a court perspective, they were like, listen, the only way we can make this fair is by putting your past aside and my past aside, and let's just go off of what happened that day. And I think that is fair when I understand it that way. It's like, leave that alone, leave this alone. Even though Carmelo's was like the day of, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, that's tough. If I'm Austin's side, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be like, I'm willing to let some stuff go, but the information that he said that morning that he was on a verge of poking somebody, that is relevant to what happened to my son later on the afternoon. So I don't know about everything being concealed, but I do understand the level playing field. Like, okay, let's level this out. You leave your stuff in the past. Karmelo leaves his stuff in the past. Let's go based off of what happened that day under the tent. And I think that's going to be the most fair trial ever if we do that. So I can kind of understand that.
Replied, "Kill that MF." During the 2023-2024 school year, he received in-school suspension twice. School disciplinary records from April 2022 to May 2024 revealed that Austin reportedly called a teacher the B word and used profanity. He told a school official that he couldn't control it and wasn't aware that it was coming out of his mouth. In 2024, on at least 5 occasions, Austin saw a counselor regarding his anger and rage during a football game. In 2021, he got banned from attending basketball games for a season after yelling profanity at a player. Metcalf also got suspended after he and another student were talking about bringing a gun to school the following day.
Oh my gosh. It just kept getting worse and worse. So yeah, both of their past is extremely crazy. I think you could probably argue that Carmelo's past is more relevant to the case because his was like that morning. But yeah, both of their past was insane. And I think that, I've said this on TikTok already, but I think the bigger picture here is that everybody was right. There shouldn't really be any more arguing. I think everybody can just agree that the people who were around these kids on a day-to-day basis are now safe. They are safe because I think both of them were crazy. And so everybody that had to deal with either one of them being around them on a day-to-day basis, just they don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, the twin brother, I don't know where he's at, but hopefully he learned his lesson. Or not learned his lesson, but learned from all of this, and maybe has a change of heart. But if he was doing the same stuff that his brother was doing, then yeah, he needs to get it together because he can see how serious he can get. But the entire internet was right. One side was calling this side racist. One side was calling this side, and everybody was just throwing jabs at each other, back and forth, back and forth. But whole time, everybody was somewhat right about the other side. And so there's no reason just to keep on arguing about it when whoever was on Carmelo's side saying free Melo, all of them kept saying Austin was racist growing up and he had something against minorities. And according to records, he did. And no, I don't. A lot of people, I saw some comments saying like, oh, it was a couple of years ago. I'm like, yeah, it don't just like turn off, you know what I mean? So he still had some of that built up in him. So who knows? And then, you know, people talked about, I think his name was Jeff Metcalf, his father. People talked about his watermelon felon comment. And I said it on my TikTok. I said he didn't have to say all that. Like that was no reason for him to say that. He was under a gag order for for a year or so. So I understand his frustration for sure. But he didn't have to say that. And a lot of people went straight to he said that for a reason because, you know, he's racist, he's he's this and that. And so, you know, this definitely does not help the case at all, learning that, yeah, Austin had a very, very, very troubled past because Jeff Metcalf, like any parent, probably thought their child was just perfect and so innocent because that's the image that he gave off. If we're just trying to keep it a buck, he did kind of throw it out there that Austin was just this great, 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 great kid. And I don't deny that he probably had a lot of great moments in life. But you know, I think all of us probably have never thought about bringing a gun to school and graffiti on the wall of racial slurs and all the types of crazy. Like, you know, at this point, about 5 years down the road, at that rate, he would have done something crazy. So I think both sides are right. There should be no more arguing. Case settled. Both sides were absolutely crazy. Crazy met crazy. One person was looking to cause trouble. One person was looking for trouble, and they met. Right? Two evil people. I wouldn't, you know, I mean, I wouldn't say all that, but two people that was just not on the right path happened to cross on the same path, and one survived and one didn't. And so it was just a tough all around situation. And in the Lindsey Clancy case, to wrap up tonight, is very, very interesting. And yeah, it's not going to be any type of middle ground when it comes to this case. Watermelon fell, and so did Karmelo. Karmelo knew who to go after for a response that would need self-defense. Watermelon fell him. He said, but he didn't make the word. He even said that he got that saying from Wolfhat. Yeah, I mean, still though, you know, I know he was under a gag order, so he didn't say anything for a whole year while Carmelo Anthony's family and people attacked him for a whole year. So I get his frustration for sure, but I was just saying, like, bro, because he literally said it. He was like, y'all want me to be racist so bad. Okay, you want me to say something racist? You want me to say something racist? And I was literally watching the live, and I was like, no, don't do it. And so, yeah, he didn't. I knew as soon as he did that, I was like, oh, Lord. The dad, day one, kept saying it wasn't racial, so he knew the past would maybe come up. Both families are ruined. He did. He to his credit, he tried to bring the families together to not make it racial. He tried. And the Melo family, the Anthony family, kicked him out of that press conference, and they made it racial. So regardless of Austin's past, because it doesn't look good, the dad tried to do the right thing. So, you know, he gets somewhat of a point for effort. All right. So the Lindsey Clancy case is, I don't know where we at in the trial. I don't know if I don't think the jury reached a verdict. We would have heard that, but you know, she's facing she's pleading for insanity, and if she's found innocent, that does not mean she walks free. That means she's probably checked into an institution, mental institution. If she's found guilty, then she's guilty of being criminally liable of her crimes that she did with those kids. At the moment, a lot of people are still going down the Patrick rabbit hole. And I don't deny that Patrick seems like a terrible person. I don't deny that. Like, to me, it appears that Patrick didn't care about his kids because he was told to not leave them alone with her, and it seems like he didn't really care about his marriage because it seemed like he was probably, was he moving on? Did he already know this girl? Was they already kind of like meeting on the side? Who knows? But coming from a father perspective, if your wife has said in the past that she felt like she was gonna do something to the kids, it only takes one time. I threw that at my wife earlier. I was like, how you feel about the Lindsey Clancy case? And it was just throwing out stuff. And we both was like, bro, if you ever said something like that about our sons, like, what? I'm not going to not take what you say serious. And so him still, and it go both ways. Like, she never offered the kids up. He never protected those kids, especially as a father. And so he's a strange individual. I don't deny that whatsoever. At the moment, I don't really see anything that points to him doing it. Is it possible? Sure. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying that it's 0%. I'm just saying that it's unlikely, in my opinion. Do some things not add up? I mean, we can go all day about that, but I think there are more things that are compelling that makes Lindsey more criminally liable versus looking at Patrick as somebody that did it and all types of stuff like that. So it's gonna be weird. In my opinion, I'm not really buying the insanity thing. I'm really not, because I know a lot of people are coming on the internet talking about their the time that they had psychosis, they was under psychosis and the medication. But then and the thing is, with the Lindsey Clancy case, there are people like that side that is pleading for her innocence. Nobody's on the same page over there. Everybody is saying so many different things versus the side that's saying, like, bro, she's guilty. She's criminally liable for what she did. Case closed. That is pretty consistent. But over here, they're like saying so many different things on what makes her innocent, because they're talking about all the medication that she was on. But then when you look at the trial, they were talking about she was prescribed a lot of medication, but she wasn't on all of those medications at once. And so like that goes against what people have been saying on the internet. And also with her admitting to so many different people afterwards, the things that she said in the middle of her eliminating her kids, her saying that her kids are safe. Like, it's so many different things that she did afterwards that is like, bro, she has acknowledged that she did what she did to many people. And the defense is not arguing that either. Nobody's arguing that she didn't do it. So, but for some reason, the internet is just like, no, she didn't do it. I promise you she didn't do it. I promise you she didn't do it. It was definitely, I'm like, but nobody's arguing that at all. She's not arguing that. The defense is not arguing that. She has told many people that she recalls that day. But the argument is at that very moment of her doing all of that stuff, she had no control over her body. She could not stop what was happening. So they're arguing if she's criminally liable, because they're saying, was it actually her doing it, or was it the evil thing taking over her and she couldn't stop? That's what the argument is. So it's just like, people are arguing weird things about the case. Lindsey admitted it to one weirdo, just like Tyler. She didn't admit to just one person that she did what she did. If that many people feel something, there's something. It's only women though. It's only women, and it's not all women, but it's only women. I haven't really seen a guy yet, and I'm not saying there's none at all, but I'm just saying like from a guy's perspective, it's like, bro, do you know how many people? Patrick's mother is weird. Yes, she is. But again, I could say a lot of people are weird. I think everybody around Lindsay is weird. I don't deny that whatsoever. Yeah, it is majority women. I haven't personally seen men be in an uproar saying Lindsay's innocent. So it's not really a crazy thing for me to say. And I'm not saying all women either. Majority women, said not me, friend. Majority women are the ones that are taking a stance of saying, oh, me too, it could have been me, blah, blah. But then at the same time, I'm a man, right? And when I see these comments on TikTok, and I'm like, there's a difference between spreading awareness for postpartum and then postpartum depression and then postpartum psychosis. And it seems like a lot of women are combining the everything together. Like, and they're like, no, postpartum is so hard. I'm like, nobody's denying that postpartum is hard. That's not the argument whatsoever. We're talking about postpartum psychosis, something that is rare. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, but it's rare. And for some reason, everybody on the internet is saying that they all had it before. I'm like, okay, so let's flip it then. Moving forward, all men take the kids at birth. Moving forward, all men take the kids at birth because women are just so too unstable. Because everybody has had thoughts of harming kids. Women wouldn't want that. Women would tighten up extremely fast. Then, nah, we're good. No. Take your time because women go through a lot. Men have the kids until you feel like you're okay. Then it'd be a problem. But the psychosis part, I'm not buying it. I don't really believe it because you had 3 doctors that said that it was checking up on her. They saw no signs of psychosis. There were so many things that she remembered throughout that evening that was planned, the things that she was searching up. I'm just not buying it. And then on top of that, I don't think this is such a dangerous ball game to throw out the psychosis, because I would argue that every single person that is in the mental state of eliminating somebody could be under psychosis. Every single person. It's not normal to be in a mental state that you can go out and take a human's life. So I would argue that a lot of people are under psychosis, if that's the case. A lot of people have been brainwashed and manipulated, and the system failed them. But where will we be? Where will we be as a society if that's what we just gonna do? Everybody that commits a crime is off the hook because of psychosis. There's nobody that is normal, that is in a normal state of mind, that can go out and hurt somebody like that. So I'm not buying it whatsoever. And I think that if it happened to your kids, I don't think that you'd be so understanding if a person was like, yeah, that wasn't really me, and I don't want to be criminally responsible for that. That wasn't me. That was something that was evil taking over. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. I know for a fact I wouldn't allow that with my kids, so I'm holding the same standard for her kids. I'm hoping that her kids are the justice they deserve is her being criminally responsible. All that mental institution stuff, I'm not buying that, bro, at all. But everybody, like, right, literally everybody that commits crimes, most of them have some type of mental illness. A lot of these people, a lot of them. When you go to these, like, they always talk about like the hood and black areas. A lot of those people have mental illnesses. If you want to just go there, born into poverty, parents in and out of jail, they don't have any type of supervision, drugs around them, gangs around them. They have to survive. It's a real thing. They grow up in and out of jail, suspended from school, kicked out of school, 24/7, robbing, stealing, doing whatever. And then those people go on listening to music that influenced that stuff too. And then probably diagnosed with anger issues or something like that. And then those people go out and typically get into gangs and commit crimes. So all of them should get off the hook. Every single one of them should get off the hook. I would argue that every single one of them is under some type of psychosis. But then nobody wants that though. Every single school person that eliminates, kids in school, all of them under psychosis. All of them. All of them could argue, I don't know what took over me to make me do that. I know what happened, but it wasn't me. It would just go so far beyond and then this is also, don't get me wrong, I'm not denying that Big Pharma is this evil entity. I'm not denying that at all. At all. I cannot stand the healthcare system. They are terrible people. Absolutely. But to say Big Pharma is responsible for killing her kids, I just don't appreciate that type of accountability being avoided. I don't appreciate that. That's when I'm like, what are we doing here? Big Pharma is responsible for the kids dying. What are we talking about? So just hold nobody accountable. Just I can't get with that. If the option is a mental institution for life or a prison for life, how is either better? No, you shouldn't get a choice. You should just go to prison, just like anybody else that commits a crazy crime like that. Go to prison, suffer the consequences. You don't get a choice to go to the mental institution where you probably are in a little bit better conditions than a prison. And on top of that, in a mental institution, there's no set time to get out. In a mental institution, you can honestly be on an amazing behavior and get out under 5 years. There's no set time. But with a prison, I can guarantee you that you're going to be in there for life. I like that. I can guarantee you when I hear that verdict and it says life without parole, that's different than, oh, you could go to a mental institution and it might be 10 years, right? But it might be only 12 and you get out. Now you walking amongst society all over again. Now, when they do it again, whose fault is it? Now they back in the streets. And they do the same thing. Whose fault is it? It's so I'm not with it. And yes, I know everybody's gonna have a different opinion. And again, I am saying that everybody around Lindsay did a terrible job. They did. Patrick, his mom, everybody around Lindsay did a terrible job. But Lindsay also did a terrible job. Lindsay wasn't helping Lindsay. But those people wasn't helping Lindsay either. So I need everybody to stop acting like Lindsay was like this Make-A-Wish kid. She a grown woman. Okay, that was a nurse. So she knew exactly what was going on. She knows about meds. She knows about all of that stuff. She knew the thoughts that she was having, and not once did she say, hey, I'm gonna offer the kids up. I don't think I'm good. I'm gonna give them away until I'm good. No, but again, Patrick didn't do it either. Weird. I think Patrick should be charged with some type of child neglect or something. I don't think he should be charged with the big M. He didn't do it. But I think he should be charged with some type of child neglect, because I think that from a father's perspective, he knew that those children were unsafe. But I think that he had other selfish intentions. He had, maybe he cared about his secret mistress more than his own family. But just because he was a terrible POS type of person doesn't mean that he should be charged with the big M. Just because he's a terrible guy, a terrible father, a terrible husband doesn't mean that he murdered them. You know, like that's two different things. But I do think other charges should come up for him because he was well aware that she was capable of doing that and he chose to leave anyway. I think that's totally different. But at the moment, everybody's coming up with all of these different speculations and they're like, it's not clicking for me. It's not clicking for me to do all of this. No, Patrick actually did it. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't see that. Somebody was trying to explain to me last night. I was on TikTok 2 nights ago, inviting anybody up to speak what they feel. And I just don't understand that angle. I'm open to it, but I'm not understanding that at all. And people are saying like, oh, he had a motive because he remarried so quick and all that stuff. But I'm like, again, I wouldn't necessarily say that's a motive to eliminate his own kids. She's where she needs to be. Bro, he didn't have a secret mistress. That is TikTok made up BS. Well, that could be very true. I was only assuming because of him remarrying. But yeah, if it was 2 separate things, then that proves the case even more on how they're just trying to loop Patrick in. If the new wife wasn't even involved until years later when he remarried, then yeah, like TikTok just made all of that up, and that's crazy. But I think that, you know, when people talk about this psychosis and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, so take it further, right? Patrick is now with his new wife, and he's a father at the end of the day. He's a father to 3 beautiful kids that ended up passing away in the worst way possible. And as a father, I don't know what he went through, and I can't speak for him, but I'm going to just speak for me. I would be gutted. Whether he didn't care about his kids, whether he didn't care about his wife, whether he didn't care about people or his family at that time, if he had other things going on, I know afterwards he regretted all of it. There's no possible way he didn't. He could have been selfish in that moment. But there's no way that I would believe that he just didn't care afterwards. So now, again, this is all me just going with the narrative or going with the logic of people with the psychosis thing. So let's say Patrick goes into his new relationship, his new marriage, and he has all of this guilt built up of knowing that the person that at one point in time he trusted the most eliminated 3 beautiful blessings in his life that he did not see coming, which he should have, but he didn't. That has to eat at you, right? So let's say Patrick starts seeing things and he can't take it anymore. It's so many people out there that say they lost a child and they literally struggle with staying alive every day because they just go through so many mental things. So I could only imagine in this situation for him, right? I'm just, again, attempting to be him for a second and playing this out with people's logic. He goes into his new marriage. He has all of these things weighing on him. He tries to seek help, does whatever he can. And so now Patrick chooses to lose his mind, can't take it, and he decides to take somebody else's kids, eliminate them in a store. He's just gone crazy. And he says, you know what? I'm so jealous that I don't have my 3 babies. I'm going to go take your 3 babies. But then afterwards, he says, I don't know what took over me. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't me. Something evil took over me. I guarantee you every single woman right now on TikTok, whatever platform you want to say, every single one of them would say that he is guilty because they would be biased to the situation that happened with Lindsay. They'd say, nope, he's guilty because guess what he did to Lindsay? That's karma. That's this, that's that. They'd say all these different things. almost like confirmation bias. That's what they was looking for. He's guilty. Now all of a sudden you don't care. Buddy said that he was going through something. He lost his 3 kids. He lost his 3 kids. He couldn't recover. He was jealous watching all of these families around him. He didn't know what to do. He sought out help. And he took somebody else's kids and took them out. And nobody would be saying he's innocent, including women. And I know I wouldn't either. I'd say no. I think you're the one who's biased. But that's what I'm saying. How am I biased? I'm literally saying Patrick is a terrible person. I'm saying Patrick is a terrible person and Lindsay's a terrible person. So who exactly where's my bias at? You just said every single woman. Yeah, every single woman. If Patrick were to go eliminate 3 kids, somebody else's 3 kids, right? I'm talking about the Patrick that everybody is accusing right now at this moment. If that Patrick were to go eliminate 3 kids tomorrow and said he was just built up with all the things that's happened to him in his life over these last couple of years, but he took out somebody else's kids, every single woman would say he's guilty. There would not be a single woman that say, you know what? Lindsay was going through that same thing. I believe him. I think he's the innocent guy. No, they would be pissed because they'd be like, see, he was crazy all along. He probably killed his own kids too. And the men would definitely be like, he's guilty. I don't care. You ain't going through nothing, bro. You just took somebody else's kids, go to jail. So that's why I say, yes, all women would find him guilty in that situation. I think you might not be understanding psychosis. I mean, I understand it to the best of what was explained in court, what was explained that you can pull up. I don't believe it. 3 doctors also said that they didn't see any signs of psychosis. So it's not just me. The professionals said they didn't detect any type of psychosis either. But apparently that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to this case, the best y'all got is that everybody's lying. The three doctors that was checking on Lindsay said that they didn't detect any type of psychosis. They're liars. The people that Lindsay talked to after she did what she did, and she recalled, saying go to God, and she recalled all of these different things that align with the actions that night. Y'all are all saying that they're liars. And I'm like, okay, that's not really good enough. What woman is saying it's okay that she took out her kids? If that's true, tell us the name. No, the women are saying that it's not her fault that she took out the kids. So like that's just as bad to me. I mean, like Candace Owens literally said, Big Pharma should be charged with taking out her kids. That's not Lindsay's fault that she did that. So yes, that's a crazy thing to say because she literally did that. From South Africa, what's up? He said woman because women are who defending. Right. Yeah. Thank you. That's why I'm saying women. Women are the only people defending, and again, I don't want to say all men, but majority, it's probably like 95%. 95% is women defending Lindsay Clancy, and I might find 5% of men saying something, but I haven't personally found it. She remembered all of it against the pharmaceutical companies for a lawsuit. Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe it. I don't believe the psychosis thing one bit, but I do think that, her defense and the things that they're presenting to somewhat prove that she was clinically insane. I mean, I'm like, sure. But again, you would have to say all of those things to come close to winning. But all the women that's outside the courthouse saying like, oh, me too, or could have been me, or same Lindsay, and all this other stuff. I'm like, again, I think that this was just a wrong time to spread postpartum awareness, postpartum depression awareness. Because I'm not denying that postpartum depression is not real. That has never been the argument. But for some reason, you will find women saying, you just don't understand nothing about postpartum depression. I'm like, the argument is not postpartum depression at all. But I think that's where people are like combining the two. And I'm like, this is not a good story to push mental health awareness. It's not a good story for that. You haven't experienced it, so you wouldn't know what were all those medications for. Again, if that's what we're going to go off of, then I think that all men should just get custody of their kids as soon as they're born until women are okay. And problem solved. Problem solved. No more arguing about it. If men don't understand women whatsoever, which that's not what I'm saying at all. I've already said I understand postpartum and postpartum depression, right? Because once you have a kid, when you're in the hospital, the day that you leave, the hospital reads you this long packet, like to the woman, to the mom, this long packet about, you know, if you feel this way, if you feel this way, if you feel that way, do this, do that, do this, do that. But the second you leave that hospital as a new mother, the second you leave that hospital, they barely check on you. They always check on the baby. So when you do these checkups, it's always about the baby. But they don't really check up on you. So I understand how women can just be like, dude, this is so hard and nobody ever checks up on me. It's a real thing. Nobody has ever denied that. I haven't. I can't speak for everybody. Nobody has ever denied that. But that's not the conversation right now. So that's why it's funny when people be like, you just don't understand. And I remember one person was like, I feel so bad for you as a new father. You just don't even understand what your wife's going through. I'm like, first off, you don't know me. I have 2 kids. I'm well aware of how it works. And nobody's refusing or nobody's denying that postpartum is not real, or postpartum depression is not real. Nobody has ever said that. But again, if that's what people want to go to and say nobody understands what women go through, cool. 60 days, father gets the children. Women don't even come near the children as soon as they're born. Case closed. All good. And I guarantee you, women will find a way to be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. No. You stay over there and we'll figure something out. Fathers get custody for 2 months. That way you don't get any thoughts about harming the kids because we don't understand, right? Dads don't understand. Fathers don't understand. Guys and men don't understand. So cool. We don't go through those things. So you know what? We get the kids for 2 months. As soon as they're born. Everybody should be happy. I pray it's never your experience. Postpartum psychosis is rare. That's not really like a lot of people's experience. But yeah, I hope that it never does happen. But I'm realizing that there's like somehow every post I click on, somebody saying that it happened to them, and I'm like, I could have sworn this was rare. Now all of a sudden, all of TikTok has had it before. That's a really gross perspective. Why is it gross? Y'all can't have y'all cake and eat it too now. It don't work like that. And I'm not even saying having psychosis is a great thing, but what I'm saying is you can't say how serious psychosis is and how traumatic it is and how all of these things y'all just don't understand. And then when I propose the idea of, okay, you don't get the kids for 2 months, that's a problem too. What are we talking about? No, pick one. Pick one. If it's so serious, give your kids up for 2 months. Give them to your father. Give them to the dad. Psychosis is rare. Depression, on the other hand, isn't. Right. And that's what I'm saying. As a man, I know that. So that's why I'm like, I am well aware about postpartum depression. It is a real thing. It is hard They don't check on women as much as they should. That is a real thing. But I think that that's what people are pushing right now. Postpartum depression awareness. That this is the wrong time to push postpartum depression awareness. That's not what this is. That's why when Candace said all she needed was just a weekend to give the kids away. No, it's way more than that. She shouldn't have the kids at all. Now, Patrick should have did some things too. Patrick should have absolutely did some things too. But no, there's no give the kids away for the weekend. She just needed a break. Absolutely not. Take the kids until you get better forever. Like, well, you know, not forever, but whenever you get better, you come back, you're good. Come back around. You're pissing me off. Hey, that's great. I'm glad that we're having this great conversation here. That's all that matters. Science would tell you it's insane to take a child from his mom the first 2 months of life. Oh, now we're going off the science. Okay. Now we're going off the science. Now we're not allowed to take kids from their mothers, but the mothers are also able to say that psychosis is so crazy that sometimes I have thoughts of harming children, but we're not allowed to take the kids from their mother. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Science also says that postpartum psychosis is rare. And 10 million women are on TikTok talking about it happened to them. And don't get me wrong, when you talk about like the mass majority of the millions and millions and millions of people, sure, maybe I happen to come across the 1%. Maybe my whole feed just happened to be the 1% of women that get it. Sure, possible. But I'm not going for that, bro. It don't work like that. You don't get to say it's so crazy. And then when someone says, okay, bro, if it's so bad, women just don't get the kids for 2 months. And now that's a problem. Babies don't need to be away from their, no. Father here, if you feel like you're going through something like that, I don't care what you got to say. I got the kids. Go figure yourself out if it's that crazy. If you feel like you got to harm somebody, like definitely ain't harming these babies right here, not on my watch. What she did is rare, and what she experienced is rare. If you want to unalive your kids, you should give them to someone until you get some help. Right. That's what I said. Why didn't she give up her own kids? Give them up. Again, Patrick should have stepped in too. So I'm not denying that at all, but I'm all about accountability here. And it seems like people want me to go. There's like no middle ground. It's like, it has to be 0% accountability for Lindsey Clancy. I'm like, no. What? Big Pharma killed those kids. No, they didn't. Lindsey did. Big Pharma didn't kill those kids. Big Pharma didn't lay Lindsey down and drug her and pin her to a table and drug her. No. She was Dr. Hoppin. Now, did they probably give her bad, advice on maybe mixing and matching, or mixing drugs and stuff like that? Potentially. That's possible. But there's also a story on the internet that she was under so many different drugs, right? Candace said that. She was so drugged up. They did it on purpose. And then we found out she wasn't even on that many drugs for real. Right. 0% accountability because Lindsey didn't do it. So who did it? Who did it? Who did it? Do you think someone who's on all those medications has the ability to make rational decisions? She wasn't on that many that people made it out to seem like it, that made it out to be. She wasn't on that many. And again, if you're going to excuse Lindsey, then please excuse all the crime that happens in America. All the crime that happened in America, excuse most of those people, because all of them are usually drugged out when they do it. Right. Let's agree to disagree. You have never been a mother, so all you have is your opinion and your TikTok algorithm. I've never been a mother, but I am a father that helps produce those kids. And so I'm not at all dismissing postpartum depression. I'm not dismissing that at all. But I'm also not gonna sit here and allow y'all to say, or not allow, you can say whatever you want, but I'm also not gonna sit here and hear people say you don't understand. So many people feel the same way. And then I say, cool. So moving forward, women aren't allowed to have their kids for X amount of time after birth. Y'all disagree. What are we talking about? there's no solutions. I can't stand conversations like that. There's just no solutions at all. Women are allowed to do this. Women are allowed to feel this way. They just have to still have the kids, even though they're the ones that feel like they're such a hazard. But no, men are just forced to, the kids have to, that seems like a very dangerous position to be in, when women just have the control over absolutely everything. They prescribed her 15 medications in 4 months. Yeah, but again, she was doctor hopping. Now, was the advice bad? Yes. I don't know if she told the truth about all the things that she was already receiving. Somebody might be able to educate me on that. But she was doctor hopping. But and also she wasn't taking all 15 medications. But yes, she was prescribed a lot. But that's why when people come on there and say like she was drugged, I'm like, no, she wasn't drugged. She took the drugs. I get prescribed stuff all the time. I'm not even a doctor. And I will literally sit there. I'm like, bro, I'm not taking that. Y'all got all this stuff. I'm good. I'm not taking that. Now, again, I'm going to say 1,000,000 times. And I'll probably have to stop saying it and call it a night, because the more people that come in, the more I'm going to have to say it all over again, because they're going to come in at the wrong time. Is that a lot of people around her did not, they didn't do well. They failed her. They failed her, but she also failed herself. She also failed herself. I haven't followed the case super close because it makes me physically sick, but I thought they were switching her meds a lot and upping the MG on the antidepressant. Yeah, I mean, they were doing a lot of things for sure. But I think the biggest narrative out there was that she was on so many drugs when she wasn't on that many. It's not the same. I mean, that's what everybody always says, though. Like, that's what everybody always says. And and again, please don't ever think that I'm dismissing postpartum and postpartum depression. I've already said that I get it. I get it, been there, done that, and I definitely take it serious. But I'm definitely also not for like lose-lose situations and no solutions. If it's that crazy and all of these people feel like they've been under psychosis, then you have to be okay with the solution of, if it's that serious for women, then men should have the kids at birth. But then I also understand that probably would make a woman go crazy because that's your baby. But that's what I'm saying. No, I'm not arguing with myself. I'm definitely talking to people in both chats right now. Be careful, Jay. This is a woman's chat. That's cool. I think everybody else needs to be careful because it's my page. So I'm definitely gonna just say whatever I feel. And I always preface that my opinion, 100% my opinion. Because guess what? I talked to my wife about my sons. We're on the same page. Okay. So I don't think anybody shouldn't be mad at me. Nobody should be mad at me. There's going to be 2 healthy, alive children at all times. If she ever said a sliver of a word of harming one of them, she knows for a fact she wouldn't be near them for a very long time. She know that. And vice versa. If I were to ever say anything crazy, she would know that they would not be near me until I got right. So y'all ain't got to worry about it. We good. We good over here. Don't have to worry about that situation happening in this household. We saw the inconsistency in Erica and Patrick. You on Erica. I'm not mad at you, but your experience is different. You have to put the shoe on the other foot. I talked to my wife, who is one of the women that doesn't agree with the Lindsey Clancy case. She doesn't agree with it at all. I'm with that. I'm with that. She doesn't agree with it at all. However, she says the same thing I did. She's like, bro, they definitely did not do right by her husband, the mother-in-law, all those people. But it doesn't dismiss what she did though. And no, she said the same thing I said. She was like, if everybody just needs to forgive people from psychosis, then I don't really think y'all understand how big that can go. Y'all talking about I'm being simple-minded. I don't think y'all realize how far you can take the psychosis claim to get excused out of prison time. I really think that y'all are minimizing it just pregnant women. That is not the case at all. And I think y'all are also minimizing it to exclude, like it's like exclusive to your own kids, bro. These people can have psychosis and say, I feel like going to kill somebody else's kids. Then what? Now it's, oh, no. You got to understand. It's psychosis. No, absolutely not. No way. But apparently y'all are going to be cool with that because psychosis is definitely not exclusive to just your family and your problems. Those voices in your head can go tell you to go eliminate a whole nother set of people. And then you can just keep it going. Now nobody's accountable for anything. Everybody just doesn't go to jail, no prison time. Everybody just goes to mental institutions. Nobody agrees with the people that say that they under psychosis when they do the school eliminations. Nobody say anything about that. When the folks go to the school and eliminate them kids, because it's happened, and they say, oh, I'm pleading insanity. Nobody agrees with that. But again, I think this was I personally think that this was a case where women felt heard because there was postpartum. And everybody was like, oh my gosh, I've had a rough postpartum too. And I'm like, you saying you had a rough postpartum is not the same as this person saying I had postpartum psychosis and I killed my kids. No one agrees. People can just empathize. I don't empathize with that lady at all. I don't empathize with Patrick either. I'm sure he probably feels terrible. And maybe she does too. Who knows? But I just know that no, like hearing those warnings about she told you before that she was gonna do something, and the father was like, no, come on, bro. I'm not at all. You know nothing. You know, there it is. See, Patrick killed the kids. This is what I'm talking about. I don't think anybody on that side of the aisle can agree on one thing. Everybody has a gazillion theories. He was having an affair. Maybe, but again, how does that tie into him actually doing the thing? But people over here have already said that that's not the case. He wasn't having an affair. I've said though, I'm like, maybe he was seeing another woman. Who knows? But dog, Tyler Robinson and Lindsey Clancy case are just two different things. It really is. And I've also sat here and for now 2 days, probably more than that, and been open-minded. And not one time have I heard anything that was like, dang, that's crazy. Like, I can see. I think the only thing that I first heard was no, because like I've said before, Patrick is not a good guy whatsoever. At all. What evidence is weak, bro? The lady is not even disputing what she did, and y'all are disputing it for her. She's the one that came out and told so many people and recalled what happened that night. And told whatever these people's positions are. Like, told them and recalled, the timeline and all this other stuff. But then everybody's like, no, she didn't do it at all. But she's not disputing that. The defense is not disputing that. Nobody's disputing that. They're just disputing if she had control over doing it. Yeah. I mean, again, it's not going to be a middle ground, and that's completely fine. I expected that this entire conversation will never come to a middle ground. It's one of those things where you just gotta agree to disagree, and that's completely fine. We can talk about it a million times. I don't mind at all. I'll probably talk about it again tomorrow, maybe the next day. But I'm just about perspectives, and I haven't really heard one yet of. That's what I'm saying. I haven't really heard one yet, so we'll see. I just think that she should be criminally responsible, and hopefully that's what happens. We'll see. We'll be paying attention to it though. We'll be following the case and probably saving that for the end of the Yappisodes, because I already know it's going to be a heated debate, heated conversation, which again, I'm all for. Please don't take any of this stuff super hard, okay? I love everybody. I love talking about everything. I love hearing different perspectives. Please don't take any of this hard whatsoever. It's just conversation. All right. We can agree to disagree. That's perfectly fine. We need to move towards that more in this country, in this world. If I wasn't here on live, I'd make you understand, I promise. We need that more in this world, just having conversation if you disagree with each other. So I appreciate absolutely everybody that came in the live, and especially during this segment right here, because I know this is something crazy, and said whatever you had to say, pleaded your case, felt like Patrick did it, felt like this, felt like that. That's fine. That's what conversation is about. And so I appreciate y'all for throwing out your opinions, your perspectives, what you feel, and all of that stuff. Nothing is set in stone. And again, I'm open to it all. All of it is definitely not 0%. I just want to make sure that that's clear too. Nothing is 0%, but I can say that something to me is unlikely, or highly likely, whatever it is. But I definitely would never like dismiss it and just say, you're crazy, you're an idiot for saying such and such. So I would never do that. I definitely appreciate everybody for doing that. But please hit the like button on your way out. Replay crew, I appreciate y'all always for watching the episodes the next day, throwing it on wherever you at, work, car, whatever it is. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 26K on YouTube. We are on the road to 100K on TikTok. So many different platforms that I can't keep up with. But you can also you can support the channel in many different ways. We have 2 pages on TikTok. We have X, Facebook. Again, Facebook is brand new. I would greatly appreciate if y'all help me out over there. I'm getting used to that, so we're gonna see how that go. I'm gonna try it out. Social media is all about consistency, so I definitely can't forget about Facebook. I will keep y'all updated on the Spotify and the Apple Podcasts. That is very brand new to me. I don't really know how any of that works yet, so I'm trying to figure it out. Turn your notifications on. I probably not be going live tomorrow. I got a 5 a.m. No, what I got this morning? I got a 6 a.m. this morning. So like literally in 5 hours. I got a 6 a.m. that I got to do some stuff. And then we also have a live on Thursday with Josh Carr talking about this Charlie Kirk investigation and Tyler Robinson stuff. So we're guaranteed to have a open conversation / debate / discussion on Thursday. So we will not be going live tomorrow. So I will miss y'all, of course. But outside of that, man, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a great night, great Tuesday coming up, great week. And I will see y'all on Thursday on here. Outside of that, follow the other platforms and you will see everything every day. All right, I'll see y'all.